Social movements occur when people decide there's something about the social world that is upsetting and it catches their attention. Sometimes the issue has been brewing and simmering for a long time, even generations. But sometimes the issue catches the public attention quickly due to a certain event. Sometimes people band together quickly and demand immediate attention, such as in the Arab uprisings in 2011. Social media and the ability to broadcast images instantly has quickened the pace of social change in the past decade. While social media allows for us instantly to see images and understand social problems from within these broadcasts, we still need to understand that many of the political forces that shape our world and the relationships between nations cannot be captured instantly with images. The shifting arrangement of power between nations simply cannot be captured by a series of video images placed on the internet. Colonialism, which empowered the countries with the swiftest ships and the most powerful weapons and armies, was the backdrop to our modern political arrangements. As the wealthy nations industrialized, they then had the means and the power to exploit the resources of those countries that lagged behind. According to world systems theory, non-industrial nations became dependent and unable to develop their own resources. Remember, we talked about that in Chapter 7 when we discussed global stratification. The world powers are now divided into a triad. A Japan-centered East, with China in the process of replacing Japan, a Germany-centered Europe, and a United States-centered Western Hemisphere. In an effort to align power and divide global areas of dominance, these three powers, along with four lesser ones, Canada, France, Great Britain, and Italy, formed the G7, meaning the Group of Seven. Fear of Russia's nuclear arsenal prompted G7 to let Russia join this elite club, creating the G8. As of 2015, Russia is no longer welcome, and it looks as though the membership has dropped back down to the G7. The United States maintains its position of power through not only its corporate reach into other countries, but also with its military might. The cost of maintaining the most powerful military in the world is high for the United States. Some criticize the investment that the U.S. has made in the military, questioning whether it's worth the cost to maintain its military arsenal. Social change theorists attempt to explain why societies change. Our discussion will center on some basic theories and concepts, the ideas of societies evolving from lower to higher social orders, and that societies go through natural cycles. That there are conflicts over power and resources that generate social change, and we'll also look at Ogburn's theory of social change. Evolution theories break into two camps, those that believe that social change is unilinear, and those that think that it's multilinear. Unilinear theorists state that all societies follow the same path, that they all evolve from simpler to more complex societies. It assumes that all societies follow the same path. For example, Lewis Morgan developed a unilinear theory that all societies go through three stages: savagery, barbarianism, and civilization. However, multilinear views of evolution have replaced unilinear theories, and they assume that different societies take different routes of development. Multilinear theories assume that different routes can lead to the same kind of development. Cyclical theories consider why some civilizations rise and then fall. It assumes that societies go through natural cycles, similar to an organism. They are born, they enjoy an exuberant youth, they come to maturity, and then they decline as they go into old age. Eventually they die. Theorist Arnold Toynbee said that civilizations face challenges to their existence, and that they must rise to meet these challenges if they are to continue. The solutions are often beneficial to the ruling elite, but then at some point the masses will challenge the imbalance and the ruling elites will lose their ability to control the masses. Eventually, the fabric of society is torn apart and civilization then declines. These declines don't happen suddenly, but rather over a long period of time, sometimes several hundred years. It may be that the West is in decline, and that China may emerge as the next global power and create a new civilization. Marx also developed a model of social change long before Toynbee's theory of natural cycles. Marx views social change through the dialectical model of history and believes that each ruling class sows the seeds of their own destruction. Marx believes that capitalism is built on the exploitation of workers, and that with the workers and owners being at odds with each other, that ultimately there'll be a revolution and a classless state will emerge. This model follows the concepts of thesis, meaning the power divisions and status quo, and then antithesis, challenging of the status quo, and then synthesis, the new arrangements of power divisions. This model repeats itself until a classless state emerges. A different theory that is based on technology was advanced by William Ogburn. According to this theory, new technologies and innovations create social change. There are many different types of innovations. They are not necessarily material items like the automobile or the computer. For instance, democracy and citizenship are innovations that are fairly recent innovations, but have had tremendous impact on our social order. According to Ogburn, social change occurs due to invention or innovation, which then leads people to view new ways of seeing some aspect of the social world, and then these innovations are diffused to the more general population and spread to a larger segment of society. Your text author discusses in depth how the automobile and the microchip have affected social life. Because these are concrete material goods, it's easy to see how these technologies and items have changed social arrangements. However, remember that ideas can also impact social arrangements. This slide helps us think about how ideas can take root and then be diffused throughout society. The women's rights movement occurred in the U.S. during the 1960s and the 1970s and has spread to other areas of the globe.